Welcome to the CompTIA A+ 220 1101 or Core 1 exam. This is Objective 3.4, Expansion Cards. One of the nice parts about our modern computing platforms is that we're able to extend those capabilities by adding additional hardware to our systems. One of the primary ways of adding this hardware is through the use of expansion cards. You can purchase the expansion card, install it into your computer, and now you are extending and adding to those capabilities of that system. This allows you to, as the end user, to purchase any available product and install it yourself in your own system. This might be hardware where you have purchased a card, or it might involve the process of installing a hardware driver that integrates new hardware through the operating system. Installing the expansion card is relatively straightforward. You would remove the top of your case, find an available expansion slot, and place that card into the empty slot, just like in this picture. You're going to gently push down and lock it into place. Make sure that the holes or the keys match the ends, and then you should be fine. Upgrades that people really like to use for expansion cards are, video cards. Many CPUs already have video technology, but it may not be enough. If you want something that's high performing, maybe you want to use more intense graphics, do video editing, use multiple monitors, or just play some games, then you'll need a higher performance card. Some systems use integrated video. For example, get my pointer. You can see there's a HDMI slot here. This is the same system that I'm using right now. It's totally different from using an expansion slot, which would give you much higher results and better performance. But on the other hand, if we don't want to output video, what if we want to input it into our system? In that case, you would need a capture card. You may need this to capture video, to provide live streaming, or some other type of activity. Video information is quite large. It's a lot of data. So these cards have been able to maintain high levels of video input, especially using high resolution. For example, this is a PCI Express interface, and you can use that to take video and put it into your computer. I do see that USB capture cards are becoming more common, but they're not nearly as high performing. So they support two different types of video, if you can see here. We do have an HDMI output, and there's another antenna here to capture different signals as well. Okay, let's talk about NICs, or network interface cards. A lot of motherboards already come with a wired connection, but there may be times when you want to add additional NICs for different reasons. The network interface card, or the NIC, on your computer may need additional interfaces, or maybe you're just not satisfied with the integrated one that's built in. You commonly see these types of extra NICs in servers, routers, or maybe just special devices that need another interface. Installing a network interface card is exactly the same as we talked about the video card and the capture card. You just want to open the case, make sure that the pins match, and gently push it down, and make sure that you have everything that you need in terms of drivers. You have to make sure that everything is compatible with your system. You might have to do a little bit of homework. You may need to check the documentation of your motherboard. You may need to make sure that the technology is supported. All of this will be documented from the vendor that you purchased it from. You can look at specifications online or in manuals. There's usually minimum requirements to use a specific hardware, and you need to make sure that your system meets those minimum requirements. You can get even more information and see how this card is performing for other people just by checking either a knowledge base or support form. If there's a common issue, people will report it, and then you can go from there and make an intelligent decision. Additionally, you may need to install other drivers or software to get the performance that you want. However, let's say that you've done that and there's still a problem. Sometimes this driver installation is done through the Windows Device Manager. Sometimes you may do it yourself from the vendor, or sometimes it'll be in an update. So make sure that you have the correct processes installed for using that driver. There may be some times when something goes wrong and you need to look at a device. You'll need to use the Windows Device Manager and go through the different information provided here. It may give you errors, it may have different types of signals, question marks, and it'll guide you on what you need to do. Great, now we're at the end of the objective. Here's a pop quiz. Here's a situational troubleshooting question that would be quite common on the hardware portion of the Core 1 exam. Okay, you just finished properly installing a new expansion card for graphics. You turned on the Windows system. You don't really see any problems yet. There's no errors when you boot up. The display is not clear though, and the performance is a little funny. It's not as good as you thought it would be. What should be the next step? Should you reseat the graphics card? Should you restart the computer? Should you call their support? Or should you check the device manager? If you answer D, check the device manager. That's always a good first step. If you've already installed it, you don't really see errors when you boot up. This is a good place to start. For example, you can see that there is some sort of camera and a PC TV remote USB that has a problem. You'll see different information and you can right-click it and learn more to troubleshoot further. Thank you for watching.